What's up, guys? Matt Brown here for thelines.com, playpicks.com, and this is your Week 15 NFL market rundown, kicking things off on Thursday night with an awesome game. I mean, maybe our best Thursday night game of memory, and that is the Kansas City Chiefs at the Los Angeles Chargers. As we take a look here, Kansas City Chiefs are 4-point road favorites over the Los Angeles Chargers. With that, this line did open at 3 and moved rapidly in favor of the Chiefs. So it was one of those things where I think a lot of people thought that the Chargers were going to take money, and that was not the case at all. This game is sitting right now with a total about 51.5 there. The Chiefs coming off their massive win over the Raiders. The Chargers coming off of a really, really good win in which Justin Herbert looked amazing. Doesn't matter the opponent. So this is a very highly anticipated, not only highly anticipated, but a game that is going to go a long way in deciding what that division looks like as well. Cannot wait for Thursday night. Raiders and the Browns right now, as you see right here, we are looking at 6.5 in favor of the Browns at home over the Raiders. The Browns squeak out a win over the Ravens without Lamar Jackson, who goes down in that game for the Ravens. The Raiders get destroyed by the aforementioned Chiefs, and here we sit with the Browns favored by 6.5 here, total about 42.5 in this thing. This game might be the game I want absolutely nothing to do with this week. I mean, I don't feel as if the Raiders should be 6-point underdogs, especially not 6.5-point underdogs to this Browns team, but at the same time, I'm not running to the window to bet it either. So just a game, kind of a little wait and see for me, but I doubt that one ends up in the account. Another really, really good game, and a game that's going to go a long way in deciding some things here for a couple of the different teams, and that is the Patriots and the Indianapolis Colts. The Colts are 2.5-point home favorites in this one, a total of 45.5. The Patriots currently sit with the number 1 seed in the AFC. The Colts are on the brink of the playoffs. This is a very big game and will decide a lot as we move into the final weeks here of the season. Is this Patriots team for real? This is what we find out this week. Probably a pretty prime teaser leg as well, getting the Patriots up to 8.5 in a game that is figured to be very, very tightly contested. Neither one of these offenses are really built to blow out teams or anything like that. So definitely do like getting the Patriots in a teaser leg as well. Don't even hate the Colts at under a field goal too. Panthers on the road at the Bills. The Bills are big, 10.5 to 11-point favorites, a total of 43.5 in this one. This is obviously lined as if Josh Allen is going to play. He is a little bit nicked up. I don't think there's a ton of concern that he's not going to go in this one, which is why we're seeing these 10.5s and 11s, but there is at least a mild concern that maybe something were to get tweaked this week in practice. So something you're going to want to pay attention to if you do want to back the Bills in this thing. Of course, their backup quarterback is Mitch Trubisky, so it's not the end of the world for the Bills. They do have a very experienced guy to come in into this game. Carolina Panthers just continue to look worse and worse each week. Cam Newton, not the answer at quarterback for them. Jets on the road at the Dolphins. Dolphins, 8.5-point home favorites here over the Jets. This game has a total of 42.5. This is the prime teaser leg. It's just where do you pair it with of the week? You get this thing down under a field goal in favor of the Dolphins. The Jets already lost Corey Davis, now lost Elijah Moore for the season. Just tons and tons of things mounting for this Jets team. Squad just doesn't have any players out there anymore. It's just, do you find a teaser leg that you really enjoy to pair with this Dolphins leg? That's going to be the big question of the week. Washington football team and the Philadelphia Eagles. Eagles, 4.5 to 5-point home favorites here, a total of 43.5. The Eagles coming off of a bye. The Washington football team coming in about as beat up as a team could be. I mean, losing guys left and right. There's guys in concussion protocols. There's guys in the COVID protocols. There are guys who are just injured. It is a mash unit for the Washington football team, including Taylor Heineke, who got beat up in the game last week as well. So it could be Kyle Allen, could be all kinds of scenarios here. it is certainly a early in the week and Eagles are pass, and then you'll go ahead and decide how this injury report plays out as to whether you maybe want to come in on Washington or not. But boy, they are really, really, really beat up. Going to be without a ton of players in this game. Arizona Cardinals on the road at the Detroit Lions. The Cardinals are 13.5 to 14-point road favorites over the Lions. Total of 47.5 in this thing. Look, Cardinals are much, much better than the Lions. Are they 14 points better? Are they 2 touchdowns better? That's kind of to be determined. I'm not going to be running to the book here to bet this one. Cardinals do have alternate motivations as well. If they get up a ton in this game, we've seen them. They were very conservative with the injury with Kyler Murray and DeAndre Hopkins early on in this season already. Cannot imagine that they're going to keep the starters out there if they get this thing up. You know, if they're up 24, 27, something like that in this game, I can't imagine they're going to keep the starters out there, kind of leaving the back door wide open. So probably not a game that I'm going to be on this week. Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants. Cowboys are 10.5 point road favorites over the New York Giants. Giants mounting injuries as well for this team. Kadarius Toney gets put on the COVID list to go along with all the other injuries that are going on the offensive side of the ball for the Giants. And then you have the Dallas Cowboys, who, by the way, though, did not look all that sharp. They did beat the Washington football team this week, but boy, that offense, Dak Prescott does not seem right. If anything, it feels like I would take the points with the Giants, but certainly not a game that is in my account early on in the week. Tennessee Titans and the Pittsburgh Steelers. This might be that teaser leg we were talking about to pair up with the Miami Dolphins. The Titans are 1.5 to 2 point road favorites here over the Pittsburgh Steelers, meaning you get the Pittsburgh Steelers up to 7.5, 8 point underdogs if you wanted to play them in a teaser. This is a game in which the Titans should continue to have Julio Jones back. He played this past week, so you do have that. Maybe A.J. Brown is back. They have the option to take him off of IR, so maybe he is back for the Titans as well in this game. And then the Steelers, I mean, what is there really to say about this team, right? I mean, they're just not very talented. That said, super low total of 41.5 in this game, and you're going to give me 8 points with the home team in a game with a 41.5 total. Might be hard for me to pass up the teaser leg with the Steelers, even though I dislike that team so incredibly much. The relegation bowl here, Houston Texans and Jacksonville Jaguars. Whoever loses has to go back down and play in the CFL or something or whatever it is. In all seriousness, just don't bet this game. Don't watch this game. Don't know why you would. 3 points right now in favor of the Jacksonville Jaguars at home over the Texans, a total of 40.5 in this one. So total of 40.5 in a game that's going to have perfect weather, if that tells you anything about these two teams. Cincinnati Bengals, Denver Broncos. Broncos, point and a half, all the way up to 2 now at DraftKings, home favorites over the Bengals. Total of 43.5 in this game. Bengals lose a heartbreaker in overtime this past week to the 49ers. Broncos just absolutely smashed this past week. They were supposed to smash this past week. So here we get them as small home favorites here. Pretty interesting because there are some people out there that feel like it should be Cincy that's favored in this. If you look, I mean, they lose in an overtime to the 49ers, but you go and look, they won yards per play in that game. They won a whole bunch of other categories. It was really just 2 horrible, horrible turnovers on punt muffs that really did them in that game. Also, a very unfortunate taunting call against them late in that game that where the 49ers would have had to attempt a mid-range field goal and instead get the automatic first down and then go and turn that into a touchdown. Really did flip that game on its head. So pretty interesting line here. I know there will be some people taking the Bengals up to 8 points in a teaser leg this week. Falcons and the 49ers. The Falcons are anywhere from 8.5 all the way to 9.5 point road underdogs to the San Francisco 49ers, a total of 45.5 or 46 in this one. Look, Falcons are certainly one of the bottom 10 teams in the NFL. That being said, they still do find themselves in the playoff hunt, and have the 49ers proven to be 9.5 point favorites over anybody? That's the thing you got to ask yourself, because boy, it sure doesn't feel like it. Does not seem like it one bit to me. Green Bay Packers and the Baltimore Ravens. This line sitting in no man's land right now, kind of that 4.5, 5 range, because we don't know whether Lamar Jackson is going to be able to play for the Ravens or not. Even if he does play, I don't think this line is too egregious, to be perfectly honest. I mean, I think this Packers team is far superior to this version of this Ravens team. If you're looking at home field advantage, I mean, we've seen home field advantage not be worth hardly anything in the NFL. And in Baltimore, it certainly isn't that big of anything. I mean, maybe a half point tops. So, interesting line here for sure. Again, Packers playing for that number 1 spot now, playing for that number 1 seed in the NFC, which we know is so highly coveted, getting that free win, the only team with a bye. So they are going to play this game basically like it's Super Bowl, total of 43.5 in that one. Seahawks and the Rams. Rams are 6.5 to 7 point home favorites over the Seahawks, a total of 47 in this game. The Rams coming off a very impressive performance on Monday Night Football over the Cardinals. The Seahawks get it done, but they get it done again in a game they were supposed to get it done, beat up on a bad opponent. First time that they've looked like even an NFL football team in the past month, which is why you see this line where it is right now. The Rams are far, far, far superior. Seahawks in the power rankings down in that bottom 10 range. Rams, of course, in the top 3 or 4 in just about everybody's power ranking. So a massive difference here in these two teams. Does not surprise me to see this thing all the way up at a touchdown. Under a touchdown is certainly at least mildly intriguing at the 6.5 on the Rams side of things in this one. New Orleans Saints and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The New Orleans Saints, coming off of a win over the Jets, find themselves as 10.5 or 11-point road underdogs to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, total of 46.5. The Bucs win this past week in overtime after blowing a big lead to the Bills. That said, they get it done regardless. You get a Bucs team that should, in theory, be able to pass against this Saints secondary. Not going to be able to run. Can't really run on the Saints, but on the flip side of things with the Saints are successful by running Alvin Kamara. Alvin Kamara is their only playmaker on that whole team. And you're going up against one of the best run defenses in the NFL. So that is why you're looking at a double-digit spread here. Does feel like a lot. There's an 11.5 out there right now, and it does feel like a lot in this game. It seems like it would be a Saints or pass, but again, nothing that is in my account as we sit right now. And finally, taking us home on Monday Night Football, Minnesota Vikings and the Chicago Bears. Vikings are 3.5 to 4 point road favorites over the Bears. Playoff implications here because the Vikings are still technically in it. Total of 44.5. The Bears played well against the Packers for the first half. And listen, honestly, Justin Fields played pretty well as well. So Bears, why they do blow it and can't get it done and all that, I mean, there are at least some positive signs for this team. It's not like they are just, down there at the very bottom of the league where we're talking about them, in the same breath as Texans or Jags or something like that. I mean, they at least show signs of life where those other teams are just completely useless. So that said, as I mentioned, Vikings going to be fighting really, really hard in this game as they go for one of those final playoff spots. Guys, do remember as well, as we get going this week, awesome Thursday game there for the Chiefs and Chargers, but then that Raiders, Browns, and Patriots and Colts game, those are Saturday games. We're back to Saturday football here in the NFL. So we go from Thursday to 2 big Saturday games as well. So don't let that slip your mind as we do get 2 kicks on Saturday this week with 2 games that, listen, Browns are not out of it. Browns can still win the division. So certainly a big game for them. And of course, a huge, huge game for the Patriots and the Colts. And again, those are on Saturday as well. As you see, if you're watching this on YouTube, these are the very best sign-up bonuses you can possibly get across the country. You need multiple outs. You can see how the lines are different. The juice is different in all these different places. So take these free bets, take this free money, take all this stuff. Just click on these links at the state that you live in and get the best deposit bonuses and things that are out there. And finally, we have a Discord channel. Click the little Discord icon up in the right-hand corner of the site, and you can go over there and you can talk with us about NFL, about college basketball, all these other things we're going to be talking about throughout the course of the year. Guys, subscribe to the channel. Give us a thumbs up. Let us know in the comment section what bet stood out to you this week. What line seems off? What bets do you already have in your account? Good luck here in Week 15 of the NFL.